Hey friends, welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast. Come join me, your host Nicole, for some hope-filled conversations about heartfelt entertainment that makes your heart swing. Hey Postables, Hearties, Heinies, and Earpers, welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast. I'm your host Nicole, and today I'm very excited to have back one of my favorite guests on the podcast, the lovely Crystal Lowe. Thanks again for chatting with me today. I'm excited.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So Crystal, before we get to shifting gears, had a lot of exciting things going on since we last spoke January of 2023. Your film Afterglow premiered at the California Women's Film Festival.
Yes.
You've teamed up with R3 Anti-Aging, and you director shadowed Jessica Harmon on 2023's Dream Moms as a part of Hallmark's Make Her Mark Women's Directing Program. Could you briefly share a little bit about those experiences and what you love most about being a part of them?
Man, there's just so much stuff that's happened. Also, I have two small children who are just like killing life right now as well, right? So those are my favorite things, the two ones. Everything else has been like a whirlwind and also like the slowest moving train ever. And I think that's a good combo because I feel like I've been at this for so long, and some days it was like excruciating how long it felt like it was never going to happen. And then, when it did, it was like a train that was like on its way. So Afterglow really was amazing. And that is really, I think, ultimately what helped me get the Hallmark Make Her Mark program. I had two other shorts that I had directed as well. I was on my third. But that really gave me the confidence to own that I was a filmmaker, because I wrote, directed, and starred in that one. So that really gave me the like, oh, this is what I'm meant to do, and this is who I am. That changed the course of everything for me. And then shadowing Jess was just the best. She's like because she's so gorgeous. So it's like ridiculous for me to call her a bulldog, but she is. She's like fierce and makes cuts and decisions and moves, and she's so fast. And she is one of the most. Her whole family, the whole Harmon's family, they're all in the film industry. You guys have seen their work, trust me, because her dad directs, her mom produces, and her brother acts, and a lot of Hallmark stuff. They are the epitome of people that do not gatekeep. Instead, they open the door, like they really introduce you to everything and anything. They answer any question. They are really confident people. So they have nothing to hide. And so getting to shadow her was amazing, really.
That's amazing. Yeah, she is awesome. And of course, the Postables know her from
Yes.
Time to Start Living. Their Postables are going to take away my Postables card because I forgot the character's name. I feel so bad.
Listen, I forget our whole movies, and I'm in them. I forget all of my movies. People ask me questions, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't remember I'm like, it's a blur. So don't feel bad.
But I know she was the one that was after Casey.
Yeah, she was the bad guy.
Bad guy.
Yeah.
Antagonist.
That's right.
Yes. But I'm so excited for you that you've gotten all of these opportunities the past year.
Awesome. Thank you. It's been a really good year. I just, I am a person that is all about grit, like I'll pound the pavement and keep trying and get up and get hit and get up and get hit. It's kind of part of my personality. But I think in this last year, I've really also come to appreciate that it's not just a powering through, it's more of an inch by inch. It really is inch by inch. And it's really that little turtle that was going up against that hare who's not tiring himself out and just keeps moving forward, even in the times when nothing is happening. That's really when the most important stuff is, right? That's when you grow and you push when nothing is happening. So I'm very proud of myself and grateful to me for continuing to go forward, because this is the payoff for that.
And the Postables are very excited for you.
Good.
Speaking of Hallmark's Make Her Mark Women's Directing Program, led by Ashley Williams, can you tell us a little bit about the program? How did it get started? And what is its purpose, and what was it like being the first one chosen as a mentee?
It was started by Ashley Williams. I mean, really. And I don't know if she hates it, but I say this at every interview. This woman did not get paid to do this. Okay. Like there was no incentive for her to do this. She didn't, except that she wants to help women everywhere. But this was her own wanting to do this, fought for this, built this. Like, do you know how hard it is to build a program like this? It takes so much work. And
I
she
can
did so
imagine.
much due diligence in this, meeting with BIPOC groups, meeting with inclusivity groups, doing everything she could do to really understand as much as she could and then drive the thing forward. And once Lisa Hamilton Daly came on board too, it was like a no-brainer. She was 100% on board. Of course we should do this. Let's do it. And people like Randy Pope were championing it, and the network got behind it and really made it happen. Because it's not an easy feat to get this while making 90 movies a year, which they do. It's a lot. Being the first was terrifying, and also I have this weird thing where I just assume like, yeah, of course I should do that. Like when they gave it to me, I was like, yes, sobbing, but also like, of course, I've been bugging you guys for years and years and years and years while simultaneously making my own stuff. So it just made sense. I didn't really think about like how much money was on the line and like the fact that Ashley did this and what if I mess up? This could mess up the program. I really actually didn't think about any of that because that's how I am. I like, once I go into creative mode, I'm there. It wasn't really till like recently that I was like, wow, I really hope I didn't mess anything up, because this was like something it took her years to create,
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's amazing. And I met her at
She is.
RomaDrama as well. She's very kind.
So funny.
Such a fun
She's
person to talk to. Yeah.
I'll tell you something about Ashley. She's real. You know what I mean?
Yes.
She is no BS. She just tells you the truth. She's honest. And that's really hard to do in our industry because we're always trying to put on our best face and look like we're in the best shape and be fabulous. And, that is exhausting, being fabulous all the time. And I respect people that are just honest. I like the real grit. I respect that. And at RomaDrama, I met so many fans that had like been through so many hard things in their lives and just kept moving forward and loved watching Signed Sealed and loved watching Hallmark movies because they needed a little bit of, encouragement in a hard day. And I just respect those people so much. So I'm glad I got to meet y'all. It was really wonderful.
Yes. Hopefully again in the future. Fingers crossed.
Sure. Yeah. Why not?
Yes.
I loved it. It was a great trip for me.
But I'm very excited that you have been given this opportunity. I remember seeing Ashley's post and I was so excited.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been good. Really good.
Moving into Shifting Gears, which premieres this Saturday on Hallmark.
Yes.
I'm very intrigued by the concept of a car restoration competition. What drew you to this particular project or story?
Well, they gave it to me. I didn't get drawn to it yet. But ironically, when they gave it to me, I was like, well, this makes sense, because I used to, many moons ago, when I was a young lass, I was a car import. I was like Miss Molson Indy Canada. So I traveled with all the Indy race car drivers to Australia and all over Canada. I've been attending car shows all of my life, literally all my life. And I used to model at car shows. So I'm very, very familiar with the community. I understand that, that part of car shows are like, yes, people go for the cars, but people really go because that's their family. That's the trip they take with their parents. They love the cars, but they love the people and they love talking about it. It's really about community, any of those things. So I think I felt like I had a leg up in that. And, getting a movie, I think it was the right choice for me because it, was a female in a predominantly male dominated world. And that's what I'm doing as a female director. Plus it's a rom-com love story. And guys, that's my jam. That is what I do. I am rom-com. That is me. I'm obsessed. As anybody who follows me on Instagram, like I'm constantly posting, I'm like a big mushy mush, like I'm squishy.
Yeah.
I love it.
I don't know a lot about car restoration itself, but I'm very intrigued by the story, like I mentioned, and I think it's something different for Hallmark while still bringing, the usual classic Hallmark rom-com.
Yeah.
Tropes, I guess.
It's just that we get to see two people.
Yeah.
And the reason I like these stories is because, and I've said this before, but I do feel like all of us have that one person that
Yeah.
you wish you had just said one more thing to, that you wish you had just like tried to see if it was going to work just a little bit longer, or that person you remember in high school, you were like, oh, I wonder what they're doing now. There's
Yeah.
always that one person that you wish you had maybe had an opportunity to say something to again. And this movie kind of lets you live through that. So you get to watch that. That's why these tropes work, because we all have that. We understand what that's like.
Mhm.
And these guys get a second chance to and I think it's really important to talk about relationships because, universe, God, whatever you believe in, sometimes separates us and we're like, why are you separating us? Oh, it's because you need to grow on your own,
Mhm. Yeah.
and come back having grown,
Yeah.
and then meet as the people you are now. And that's a different thing. And so that's what this movie has.
Very true. I'm very excited to see it. I've never actually been in a relationship with a guy before, ever.
Okay. Okay. That's exciting too, because then there's always an adventure for when you
Yeah.
will, or if you want to,
Yeah.
like I talk to my daughter about this all the time because my daughter's 8 and we have like, like, I go, do you think you get married? She's like, oh no. I was like, you don't have to. You really don't. You don't have to do any of it. You just do
Yeah.
you. And when you meet the person that comes in, great.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to. I had
Well, yeah.
a crush in high school, but that turned out
Yes. Yeah. Well,
nope.
there's always a reason, and it's prepping
Always
you
there
for
is.
when you're meeting your person. There really is. We just don't get the luxury to know what that is yet, which is super annoying.
Yes. Very true. How did you come together with the screenwriters to make this movie?
So the script had already been in development with my producer, Muse, and Mike Barbuto specifically. He developed it, I think, right from the page with Joel Rice. And then they had a writer that they worked with, or no, I'm telling the story wrong. I think they had found this script a while ago.
Mhm.
Muse was interested in it. Mike loved it and thought it was a cool concept. They had pitched it ages ago, and there was no interest in it in the old regime. And then this time, Aisha saw it and thought, that's kind of a cool thing. We missed out on that. I think it would be really cool to see
Yeah.
a woman in this position. And so she went back to them, and then they developed it further. And then they brought it to me as a director. And then, Michael Barbuto, who's my producer and my dear, dear friend, and I, sat for hours and pored over the script and made the changes we needed. And we worked with Tyler and Kat and tried to add as much depth as we could. I always want to add more. Uh, and we made it come to life.
I'm sure it'll be great. And depth is one of my favorite things in a movie. I
Mm.
love seeing that. And
Yeah, I want even more, and I think that's why Signed Sealed is timeless. I
Mhm.
also think that's why we're getting like more viewers now than we ever had before, which
Yeah.
is bizarre. Like the show's been
It's
off for so
amazing.
long because you can watch Signed Sealed 5 times and get a different meaning out of each one.
Hmm.
It's layered. Martha layers her writing, and I trained under Martha essentially, so I aspire to be like her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing. What was the most challenging scene to film, and what was the most rewarding scene to film?
Oh, the most challenging scene was the most rewarding scene, and so
Kind of works 2 in 1. Yeah.
well, it always is, right? Because the more
Yes.
difficult it is, then you get through it and you're like, I did it. I did it.
Yeah.
The Friday night light shot, that's what I call it. And it's actually in some of the previews where they're in the rain and they have the
Oh,
umbrella.
yeah.
So I titled that when I was designing it, it's my Friday night light shot. And
Mhm.
it was already a difficult thing that I was asking. I mean, Barbie and I call Mike Barbuto Barbie in case you guys are wondering who the hell I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
Barb's and I went everywhere looking for that bloody, for the right field and the right shot. Like we went, it was crazy. And I also shot the roller rink scene that morning too. So we had 3 moves. Now
Mhm.
for people that aren't filmmakers, 3 moves means I get the entire company up. We pack up. We throw everything in our trucks. We drive somewhere. We unpack. It's a huge undertaking. So to do 3 in a day is like
That
insane.
does seem like a lot.
But I'm insane, and Mike's insane, and we're the type of people that were like, we can do it. We can make it happen. Um, but then it started pouring rain,
Oh no.
and I was like, I can't. It was like everything that crazy that could have happened happened on that day.
Oh.
You know, our second set, we had to relight in a certain way because so it was just like so much. But I will tell you, um, I was ready to like throw the towel in, be in tears, and Mike was like, "We're doing this," and I was like, "We're doing it," you know. And he said, "Who cares? It's in the rain. Let's put umbrellas up." And so my props person just happened to have a red umbrella and a blue umbrella, and that was the color. And I was like, "Okay, well, this is meant to be then." So, and I ended up, I love it. I love that it's in the rain. I love that we have those
Mhm.
beautiful umbrellas. It's their color palette. Like it all worked out.
Sometimes scenes in the rain are my favorites in
They're the
rom-com.
best.
So yeah.
They're the best. They're the most beautiful, really.
Yes. The
Yeah.
notebook scene for one
Oh,
in the rain.
hello. Yes. Amazing.
Yes. Most of my listeners know Kat from her role on Good Witch, and Tyler is, of course, a fan favorite in the Hallmark world.
Yeah.
What was it like working with these two actors for the first time?
Great. It's so funny because people keep asking me, was it okay? You worked with Tyler Hines. He's like the Tom Cruise of, Hallmark. And I was like, yes, of course it was okay. I think the nice thing about what I offer is that I'm another actor. So like these are just my peers. And I
Yeah.
think that what's really lovely about it is that we have a shorthand. We understand what it's like to be in front of the camera. We understand what it's like to try to do our job and not have the tools that we need or what type of tools we need. So that just makes things a lot easier. My shorthand with them is simple. My shorthand with everybody else is me learning, about lighting gear. That stuff I'm still learning about. But with them, it just felt simple. We're all here for the same purpose.
Yeah.
Both those actors are story driven actors. They care. They care, both of them, a lot. And they want to make it the best product they can make and not just a paycheck. And I respect that and I appreciate that because that's how I am too. And we met before to do like a rehearsal, but it's really just like a read through and discussing story and all that stuff. And I said to them, let's just treat this like a little indie film because this would be a pretty great budget for an indie film, So if we treat it like that, then we can all find some more depth, and we did. It was great.
Yeah, they're fantastic. I'm
Yeah,
excited to see their
they're done.
dynamic in the movie.
Yeah,
Postables know from the previews that Kristen has a supporting role. What did you enjoy most about working with her on this movie?
everything, every single thing. Her work, she elevates everything.
Mhm.
And I call her a dangerous actor because a dangerous actor to me is somebody that's 100% present in the moment. And I was listening to Jack Black do an interview, and he was saying that his favorite person was Kate Winslet to work with in The Holiday because she's present 100%. And that is what Kristen is like in her work. She is not in her head at all. She is here, and it's dynamic to watch on screen.
Mhm.
Plus, I know her instruments so well.
Yeah.
I know everything about her. So I directing her is like just talking to your best friend.
Easy. Yeah.
And I just had her there with me because my like giant blanket,
Oh,
security blanket. When you're a kid, you carry around those little blankets with like a
yeah.
bear head on it or an elephant. That's Boothie. I just pull her around with me, and she always knows when to. I am not somebody who likes help. I don't. I don't like to be handheld, and I certainly don't like to be coddled. I usually like to get thrown into the fire. And she knows that about me. So she knows how to take care of me in exactly the right way, which is just like yelling at me to drink water once in a while. And like, coming up and being like, you good? I'm like, I'm good,
Oh,
and then leaving me be. She just knows how to take care of me,
that's so
as
sweet. I
family.
love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so excited when I saw the preview and she was in. I was like, Kristen's in this movie too.
Yeah, as if she had a choice, guys. She did not have a choice. That was happening
Yeah.
no matter what.
Yes.
And you know what? It's going to continue to happen. I'm just going to put her in everything, and she's going to put me in everything, and we're just going to always be together in these films. You guys are going to have to find us in all these different spots.
Totally okay with all the Postables.
Yeah.
I can speak for all of them. I know that they will feel the same way. In the past few years, there have been many fan favorites who've made cameos in Hallmark
Mhm.
movies. Will we possibly see that tradition continue and shifting gears with a cameo from you?
Oh, you guys, I really wanted to do that. I actually, and Barb's and I actually talked about it, and we talked about how we were going to do it. And it just got so busy that it didn't happen. And
Oh
I'm
no.
so mad that I didn't do that. But I didn't. And I don't want to disappoint you. But
Totally.
just know that I was there every single day in every other capacity.
You did a great job in your cameo in Dream Moms.
Oh, thank you. That was so
You're
fun. That was so fun.
It was fun, and that movie actually made my top 10 this year
Oh,
for
good. Did you like
2023.
it?
Or yes, I did. I loved it.
Oh,
I think it
amazing.
made I think it made maybe 6 or 7
Oh, awesome.
on my list. I can't remember for
Great.
sure, but I know it made my top 10.
Oh, good. I love Tamara Mowry. I definitely want to work with her. We had a
Yes.
great relationship. She is fantastic and so funny. Super, super uber talented. Chelsea Hobbs, same thing. Yeah, it was really fun.
Yes. Yeah, they're both awesome. And I know Tamara and her sister from the old show
Your
Sister
sister.
Sister.
Yeah.
Yep. I grew up on that show. Lizzie McGuire, all
Yeah.
those good
Mm-hmm.
classic kid shows, kid family shows. Yeah.
Yes. Yep, for sure.
What was your favorite part about directing, shifting gears, and why? Are there any fun behind the scenes stories you'd like to share or memorable scenes that we can look out for on Saturday?
I love there's something you can check out that I haven't talked about in any other podcast. There's one shot that I loved. When I got my crane, I cried. I cried so much on the day that I got my crane because I'm a weirdo and I'm like a camera nerd now and I've never had the funds or the money to get a crane. So when Barb was like, "Do you want one?" I was like, yeah, I want 8 cranes if I can. What else can I do?" There is a shot that I loved to title Small Girl, Big World. And see if you can find it, but it starts really tight and then pulls back and makes her feel like she's very small in this big world.
Okay.
It was purposely shot and designed like that for that reason.
I will definitely look out for it, and I know that everyone watching will too.
Right.
What surprised you about your role as a director?
I think what surprised me was how exhausting it is, which I already knew, but going through it is a different thing. And how weirdly calm I felt. Like, I mean, not all the time. There was moments where I was like, "Oh God, this is it. I got to go outside and cry by myself and throw up from the stress." But always I just felt like I belong there. There's no part of me that doesn't feel like I don't belong. And I think that was surprising because, it's your first feature length. So you're like, people keep asking me, "Are you done? Is this it?" And I was like, "No, what? This is what? This is just the beginning." There was not one moment did I think I don't want to do this again. It was, when am I going to do this again? When's next? I got to start designing now.
Yes. I have no doubt that you will do an incredible job on this movie.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What is something you learned as an actor that you brought to your work as a director?
My sense of empathy is huge because as an actor, I have to, really understand people and feel everything. That's my job. I'm trained to do that. And I am that. That's who I am. And I think bringing that into a director's mind helps. I think a lot of directors come from camera and technique, and that's why they're so visually good at what they do. But I think sometimes it's the heart part. And that is the actor. You have to have that in order to be a good actor. You have to have open empathy for everybody and every character you play. And I think that's something that I can translate into my storytelling well. I think the two of those marry well.
What advice would you give to aspiring directors?
Just keep going. You're going to hear this a million times, guys. We have iPhones, we have all that. Make your own films. You're going to hear it, you're going to process it, and you're going to go, yeah, I should do that, but you won't. Do it. Do it. Go out, raise the money, ask for money, learn how to do that. It sucks. I hate that part of it. I won't stop though, because I want the aspiring actors to ask yourself, how much do you want this? Because if you want it, you're going to have to make it happen. And I don't want people to think that you can only be a director if somebody else gives you permission to be a director. If you're a director, go direct. You are one then. You're allowed to say that without having some big credit behind you. Go and direct films, your own films, short films, small films, whatever you can, and hone in on your craft.
Very great advice. Yeah. If you want something,
go do it.
Go do it.
Yes, 100%. You have the power.
And I mean, not just for directing, for anything.
100%.
Yeah. What do you hope audiences will take away from watching Shifting Gears?
Just looking at the time, I'm going to have to jump off soon. I'm so sorry. I hope that audiences will take away a little piece of my heart. I hope that this movie brings you joy, and I hope that I got to tell it from a woman's gaze and a woman's lens and give my hopeless romantic heart to all of you.
Yes. We are also excited to see.
Thank you.
As we wrap up the interview, are there any exciting upcoming projects you can share, my listeners?
Last thing I can say is that I will be on camera soon, but that's all I can say.
We're so excited to
all
see
right.
what's next.
Bye.
Thank you so much again, Crystal, for taking the time to chat with me today. It's always such a pleasure, and I can't wait to see what great projects are next. All right, Postables, Heinies, Earpers, Parties, and Hallmarkies. I think that wraps up my interview with Crystal Lowe. If you enjoyed this episode, you can like this video and share what you're looking forward to most about Shifting Gears. If you want to stay up to date on all of my episodes, you can subscribe to this channel and make sure to turn on the bell so you are alerted when new episodes come. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Love y'all. Bye.